Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, that's better.
There we go. All right.
All right.
Is Judge Grace here?
No.
Well, then we'll just skip that piece. We'll do that next month. Oh, okay, we'll do that. Roll call from my left, please.
Evans here.
LaRue here.
Key here.
Foster here.
All right. Citizens' comments. The purpose of this item is to allow citizens an opportunity to address the city council on items that are listed on the agenda or issues that are not listed on the agenda. Any person desiring to make a public comment must first sign at the podium at least 10 minutes prior to the start of the meeting in order to be recognized by the presiding officer. Individual citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes. The presiding officer may ask the citizen to hold their comment on an agenda item until that agenda item is reached. The City Council has no obligation to respond in any manner to comments or questions from the public. Any response from a member of the City Council to non-agenda comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information, of existing policy or direction to the staff for follow-up. I have a number of citizens' comments. I believe that most of them are going to want to talk during their agenda item, except for Mr. Haynes. Mr. Stephen Haynes, if you'd like to get up, give us an update. Sorry.
Thanks, Steve.
Hi, thank you.
Hello, thank you.
So glad it's not.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I hadn't been here for a while, so I thought I'd like to update the council every month if I can, and so this will just take 3 minutes to give you an update on what we've been doing on the Pure 334 project. The traffic study, the site work has all been completed, and the report with their recommendations are scheduled to be delivered to TxDOT and the council, or whichever members want to participate, on August 4th. The highlights of the traffic study were that the existing Big Chief exit, as it currently stands with the new bridge, does not meet the state safety standards for visibility and length and things. And they're recommending that it be closed and moved. So we're, if approved, our proposal for the potential new road would meet those standards and would also warrant a traffic light, which I think would be good for all of the people that live within the subdivision back there. The plan development agreement draft has been delivered to the EDC and the City Council. It is complete from the YNS standpoint, which means all the boilerplate is done, and we're waiting on the YNS attorneys and the YNS engineers and the city engineers to settle on what variances, if any, are appropriate to put into the plan development document. The utility mapping for that area, for the Big Chief Landing area, was delivered last week, and thank goodness there were no surprises. Everything is in good working order. It's where it's supposed to be, and it's large enough to carry the loads from the plan development. The architects delivered to Hilton last Friday the final architectural design plans and pre-construction drawing plans. We hope to have that approved by Friday of this week, and that's the pictures that you're looking at there. 62 rooms with 6 suites, banquet space, meeting rooms, fine dining restaurant, coffee bar, and then patios outside facing the water. The floating docks have been designed. They'll be purchased out of Florida, designed to withstand the stresses that come with northern storms that we get down the lake. They'll be installed locally by local people. We put it out for bid, but they're designed to handle 6 to 8 foot waves, which we're not going to see in there, but they'll be really sturdy, and they'll float up and down at least 6 feet. So we should be able to get any kind of weather and lake height. The landscape architects have been engaged. We have given them the notes from our discussions with the people on Jeffrey Circle, the people, which is the Renfro family over on the existing Big Chief Drive. That's going to be hopefully where the new entrance is coming in and out, and the TxDOT highway planting setbacks. So they'll give us the plans, we'll circulate them to everyone so they can have their comments on it. And that should be the last architectural piece that we've got. The one thing that we are talking about is potentially covering most of the parking spaces on the lot east of the liquor store, so that there'll be covered parking for the people, and putting solar panels on them so we can have charging stations and be able to charge boats for fishing tournaments. So there'll be easy access for people to come in and charge their trolling motors and stuff. So that's in discussions. There are some companies that will come and do it for nothing, but they keep most of the money from the generation of the electricity, but at least they would be there, it would save us some money, and there'd be an offset, a small offset to the hotel, and the charging stations would be free, which would be kind of interesting for the people that have electric vehicles in town. And the last piece is just a quick schedule update, which is the Hilton review is in. That went in on the 21st. It's scheduled back on the 4th. On 8/18, we expect to have everything delivered to Mr. Mundo and the city engineers so they can start looking at it, assuming that they like what they see and we negotiate for a little while and get everything pulled together. We expect the final packages to be done on 10/14, and that construction permits would be requested on 1/14, January 14th, and construction would begin on 2/14. So it's a very, I think a robust schedule, and I think it's very doable, and all of the pieces have come together, and we're getting really close.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes.
You're welcome.
All right, let's do the swearing in first. What do you say? Judge Grace, you ready? I, David Skanes, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, distributed, or caused to contribute any money or thing of value or promise any public office or employment for the giving or the withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God. I, David Skanes, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Mayor of Gumball City of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. and Ms. Robbins, did y'all want to speak now, or did you want to wait till we get to your item? You can wait? Okay. Same question for the Mr. Anderson. And Mr. Bain? Okay. Item 1A, the consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Consider approving the following reports: City Manager Report, April, May, and June previous meeting minutes, Animal Control, Code Enforcement, Court Report, EDC June 21st, 2022 minutes, June 2022 financials, Fire Report, May financials, Permits and Inspections, Police and Dispatch Report, Street and Park Maintenance. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 2A, discuss and/or take action to approve an interlocal agreement with Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service for a strategic planning session for years 2023-2026. Council, this is, we have a strategic plan that's in place through 2023. We've completed about 70 to 75% of it. What I had hoped to do would be to have another strategic planning session to go over the current plan, to identify the things that we have done, and all agree on that, to identify the things that we need to move forward, and to identify the things that we need to remove, and then also to identify the new items to be on the strategic plan. It would take about 3 days to do this, and y'all got a copy of the proposed contract. The EDC director has agreed to go to the EDC board and ask them to pay for half of it. So I'll leave it in y'all's hands, whatever y'all wish to do. Could I have a motion on it, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to approve an interlocal agreement with Texas A&M Engineering Extension Services for a strategic planning session for years 2023 through 2026.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
When would this activity start?
We haven't set dates yet for it, but it could start as early as the middle of September, or we could move it until probably would be November if we couldn't do the September dates. Believe that the lady that has done the last 2 of these with us, she knows our city. She's helped with it a couple of times, and she's also helped us with some other items. She's told me she was pretty well booked up for October, but she had 1 week in September that she could come out here for a few days, or we could be looking at November.
And who'd participate?
I'm sorry?
Who would participate?
The council, the EDC board, and city staff.
Mr. Mayor, I think in the motion, we need to mention in the motion that the city would be in conjunction and collaborative with the EDC, and also identify where the funds would come from.
Okay.
We have the funding in the city in the contingency line item to pay for the city's share. Just need to make sure that's in the motion.
So we need to add into the motion the contingency line item to pay.
Yeah, that we have to be paid for out of the contingency fund, and that we would collaborate with the EDC and share the costs.
I'll amend the motion.
Thank you. Motion's been amended. Ms. Keady, your second still good?
Yes.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions? And vote from my left, please.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 2B, discuss and/or take action to cease services with Misty Culpepper, CPA, and approve a service agreement with YWRD for the remaining 1-year audit for year ending September 30th, 2022. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to cease services with Misty Culpepper, CPA, and approve a service agreement with YWRD for the remaining 1-year audit for year ending September 30, 2022.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, vote from my left, please.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 2C, discuss and/or take action to consider an increase in animal control costs from $19,200 to $49,200 annually, as requested by the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to consider an increase in animal control costs from $19,200 to $49,200 annually, as requested by the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. City Manager, you want to kick this off? Oh, well, first, we got a couple folks who want to speak. Ms. Ainsworth?
Yes, hello. I'm Lynette Ainsworth, the board president of the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake, and also with me is our vice president on the board, is Kirsten Curlin, and we would like to both talk a little bit, and then we'd be happy to open it up to any questions that the council may have. So if you would allow us to kind of present some information that may be helpful, and then we can open it up.
All the time you need.
Thank you very much. As we know, the Kaufman County has recently opened a new animal shelter. Kaufman County was paying 50% of the total operating costs for Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake. That 50% of funding is gone now. The good news for them is they're seeing the value of opening a new state-of-the-art shelter, but not so good news for us at HSCCL and for this community. You would think that with Kaufman County exiting, that HSCCL would care for fewer animals, but that's not the case. We continue to see increase in animal intake. Also covering the cost of the operating of the shelter, which other cities and counties that we support benefited from. Along with the 50% being cut from our budget, we are still facing the continual effects of increased labor, supply, and medical cost, which I think everyone can relate to. For example, in 2019, the yearly expenses for the shelter were $419,000, and in 2021, were $520,000, and we can plan to continue the increase for 2022 and 2023. In 2019, the labor cost was $228,000, and for 2021 was $293,000. Medical cost also increased, was about $100,000 in 2019, and in 2021 was $126,000. Just the cost of spay and neuter has almost doubled from 2019. Spaying and neutering has become a key. We are trying to spay and neuter as many animals as we can before they leave the shelter, so their offspring don't end up at the shelter. We are actively trying to break the cycle. And as you can imagine, these costs are still increasing through this year along with next year. Compounding the increased cost and the loss of the 50% of funding, the strays for an animal has increased also from 1 month to stay at the shelter to 4 months. Most shelters nationwide are facing the same issue. Adoption rates have decreased, and people who adopted during COVID are now bringing those animals back. Shelters that normally adopt pets are now full, reducing the need for our strays, which leaves us to the transports that we were working with our partners have very much declined. The bottom line is HSCCL needs additional funding from the remaining cities and counties we support, including Gun Barrel City. This funding is critical not to only remain open, but to continue operating in a humane way for the 3,000 animals that are taken off the streets and they're brought into us. Kirsten?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kirsten, a new face and voice for the Humane Society and presenting to the council. So as a reminder, HSCCL is a nonprofit. Not only are we a nonprofit, just like you guys, our board is not paid, so it's purely volunteer. And some of our members, our board members, are working 20 to 40 hours for the shelter just to keep it operating. They're helping with transports and also other life-saving projects. Not to mention, they're also contributing financially to the operating costs for the shelter. Since we are a volunteer-driven organization, there is no option for us to operate inhumanely. Being humane is core to our mission. Our goal is to focus on finding forever homes versus the bleak alternatives. It is annoying to deal with increased cost, and that every city and citizen are facing those increased costs. However, all of us have a common goal, and that's to keep our community safe. We are hoping that we can build from that common goal. It is a difficult decision to increase cost, and that's for Gun Barrel City. Going up from $19,000 to about $49,000, that's a big jump. Even though we've been discussing this $50,000 cost since 2019, it was and still is shocking. Unfortunately, we're at a place that without the additional funds, we would not be able to support and service Gun Barrel City or its citizens. We realize that increased costs can add strain to the Gun Barrel City budget, and we're hoping that the council can step back and see the value and recognize the value that we have brought to the community. And in addition, the value that we brought to your first responders. With us servicing Gun Barrel City, you've not had to have the additional strain to your existing first responders or have had to have them deal with the after effects of a neglected stray population. After effects such as more concerned citizen calls, more nuisance calls, more injury to pets and people calls. Or worse yet, having the first responders take care or kill these abandoned or lost animals. It's not a problem that can be ignored without affecting the community. The animal population would increase if we didn't service these animals. It takes a partnership to run a community and to run a community animal shelter. We're grateful for everyone's support to our mission to rescue, nurture, adopt, and continue to save the lives of Gun Barrel City animals, especially the strayed, mistreated, and abandoned animals. This is not just an HSCCL problem, it's a us problem. And we hope we can start working with the council with a team approach to solve this us problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to jump on back in? We're open for questions.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned Kaufman County's new shelter, and that's why they have withdrawn. Have you talked to the city of Kaufman? It seems to me they may follow suit. And if that would happen, how would that affect us?
Yes, we have met with them, and at this point, the Kaufman County shelter is at capacity. So the city of Kaufman was not allowed at this time to be part of that. So they're still wanting to partner with us.
For the council, I spoke with the city manager, Mr. Michael Sly, today regarding this issue. I've been doing some research for the last couple weeks, and he kind of feels the same way that maybe we do, that we didn't get a lot of opportunity to negotiate. I didn't have any calls from the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake before I received the email. I've been in contact with our Commissioner Precinct 2 regarding the contributions that the county makes to the Humane Society and how that figures into Gun Barrel City's population as far as the taxes that we pay in our city, and how does that fit into the contributions from the county. And in the conversation I had today with Mr. Sly, he indicated that he had no options, just like we have no options. That I've contacted myself, the Humane Society in Kaufman County, and you are right, they are full. They were at capacity before they opened. And the sheriff in running the animal control program in Kaufman County is doing his due diligence as well. And so I've looked into options. I haven't really gone into depth with the options until I received from council a directive on what they would like to do as far as having me do that, or agreeing to the increase requests from the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake. But, and most importantly, we are in the budget process, and this is a substantial increase to our budget. So moving forward with the presentation to council, staff needs to know whether council is going to move forward with the increase, wants us to put that on hold, or wants to move in a different direction. But I think for options, to be quite frank, we don't have any. And the options of not having animal control puts our police officers at risk, because just recently in the last couple of months, I was present when an animal had to be shot because he was aggressive and attacking a police officer. If we don't handle that problem internally in our city, it puts citizens at risk. This is an home or an animal ownership problem, and I'm not sure how we address it with the resources we have currently in the city. That'll be something that City Council has to discuss and decide on. But I think for us, it's a real tenuous position as a city. How do we pay for something that I think we so desperately need?
I think we need to make a call to our citizens, and our citizens, I think, need to step up and start looking at the animals within their control to start with.
What would we ask them to do?
It seems like a spay and neuter approach, as was mentioned,
It is.
would be a place to start.
And that is one of the things that we've really started implementing during all of this is the spay and neuter. We used to, and we still offer spay and neuter after an animal has been adopted. We pay for the big portion of that, and we partner with the Friends of the Animals. But what we found is that appointments weren't being followed through with, and so that's why we've started spaying and neutering as many of the animals that we can before they leave the shelter, because it is time to break that cycle. It would be a perfect world if we could ask the citizens to step up and be responsible pet owners, especially during the spring and the summer. Can't tell you how many animals that we get that are pregnant or just newly with new puppies and kittens. And having to take care of those, it's a lot. And when they're just dumping them, it's heartbreaking. And that's one of the reasons why, too, that we reiterate, we're at a point where we can either start and turn the shelter into an inhumane, a kill shelter, or keep with our vision and with our mission. When we took over, it's always been about being humane. And so when you talk to our board and we're faced with, with the options on how much we need from each city and county, and how it's a little bit more forceful this time, it's because our backs are against the wall. We would love to save every animal that we absolutely could, but we can't. And if we could have responsible pet owners, that would be a perfect situation. But unfortunately, that's not a situation that we're in.
Council, could we table this and work it into our budget workshop, which is coming up, and give the city manager an opportunity to see if there's any other options? Would that be agreeable to y'all? Mr. LaRue, do you want to change your motion?
Yes, I'll amend my motion to table this particular item.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a
Vote from my
question
left.
on timing.
I'm sorry?
A question on timing. Our contract ends when, and when do we need to have a decision?
They asked for an answer the end of August, by the end of August.
Yeah.
The contract ends at the end of October, October 31st.
Jeff, do you really think there's hope out there for us? Or, I mean, do you really can't say, or?
Well, I had discussions with Mayor Skanes today, and $50,000 a year is a lot of money.
I know.
And, we may be able at some point to run our own shelter. I think the thing we have to be concerned with if we're a municipality is that we cannot harbor animals for months for adoption. That's just something a municipality cannot do. So if the direction is to run our own shelter, it's going to require the euthanasia practices with animals. It's just, there's no way a city into perpetuity can pay for animals especially with the restraints that we have fiscally. So I think it's all a matter of weighing the options. I think there are limited opportunities.
Right.
I've had discussion with the county and about options with the sheriff's department, with the possibility of maybe the sheriff's department taking over our animal control program and us paying the sheriff's department to handle our animal control. I don't even know if that's viable. I mentioned that today with our commissioner, and that would be a discussion I would have to have with Sheriff Hillhouse. And it's not fair to even interject him into the conversation at this point because we have not discussed that, but those are options that we could consider.
That's why I'm asking for just to table it till then, so that we can air all that out and see where we're at.
Yeah, just a couple of comments to your point. There is a need for additional animal shelters. Even when we met with Henderson County, we did approach on, is this the time that we want to do, or possibly the cities get together and create a bond to build a shelter? Because we are at that capacity level. Going to your comment about Henderson County, I would definitely have the conversation with them, because when they were running the Athens shelter, they were at about an 80 to 90% kill rate. And that was one of the main reasons why they approached us to take over running that shelter, to reduce that kill rate, because the calls that they were getting from the citizens on that issue, on lost pets that were killed within 24 hours, sometimes within an hour before getting to the shelter or when arriving at the shelter, there was a lot of negative backlash with that. So having those conversations with Henderson County, I think they would be able to share some of the issues, trials and tribulations that they went through when they were running it versus now when we're running it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a very important issue to you. Is there any reason why no one made a phone call before just sending an email?
Well, I think everybody kind of knows that there's been some hostility within the last few meetings, and I think that we just wanted to make sure that we were protecting. But we've also offered the council, and still offer the council, to meet and go through the budget. I'm a business owner. I know when I make budget calls, I want to see budgeting. I want to see the line items. I want to see where the costs are going, what the revenue's coming in. We've offered that to the council, and we continue to offer that, whether it's with
What you have offered us is for us to go to your CPA and ask to look at the.
She's on the board.
We would like to see the documents brought to us so that we don't have to make 6 different trips down there to look at that.
And we can do, I know that there's some regulations on how many council members can come together. We're more than happy to sit down with you guys, because we actually believe that if you guys saw the numbers, that there wouldn't be a hesitation. I mean, these numbers aren't new. You know, the 50,000 number, and I know, especially from the audience, it seems like it's so high because it's a $30,000 increase. But that number we've been talking about for 3 years. Now, we've been able to subsidize. We've had private citizens that have funded the Gun Barrel City portion, and we're appreciative of that. But I think if everybody and if the council members saw that budget, they would see that there's not frivolous cost. You would see where the board members, where we're paying for a lot of the operational costs. We have got a board member who bought a Sprinter van so we could safely transport animals to other states. And we've got volunteers and board members that are driving and paying the gas and paying the hotel to get those animals up to the other states. You know, we've got board members, we have got a flight that we have to provide 50 kennels for the animals for them to make the flight for us. There's no cost. They're not charging us the cost to transport 50 of our animals up to locations that need them. But we have to pay for the kennels. We've got one board member who's already offered to pay for half of those, and we've got other board members that are chipping in. So, I mean, the board, we've been financially contributing, and these are just operating costs. You know, the big challenge that we're facing, which I think everybody's facing, is the increased labor cost, supply chain disruptions, which also makes the cost of goods higher. Our medicine is a lot higher. To get the doctors to come in to do the spay and neuter has doubled in the last 3 years. So these are real challenges that we're facing, and we're asking all of the counties, not just Gun Barrel City. We're asking the counties and we're asking the cities that we service to we're raising the funds, and it's not because we want to. And the other thing, just to be aware, and you would also realize when we share and go through the budget, because I hope you guys take us up on that, is that, oh man, I just forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I was going to say something about the budget, because we have shared that with anybody, again, that wants to review that. We want to share that. But there is a $180,000 deficit if we just did what we're doing right now. $180,000 deficit. So with that, the board is going to have to look for grants, additional fundraisers. So these are the things that are really stressful for us, but we're determined. We've worked all these years to get the tool shelter turned around, and myself, who's been there 5, 6 years, is determined not to let it close down. And with that, we're going to have to come up with about $100,000. And I'm committed to go and get grants and do some additional fundraising so that we can continue to serve the community and take care of the animals. So that's the number that I want to leave you with. And I've got a handout with me today that I'm happy to leave with you to look at. And then, but the proper format is to sit down with our CPA, because she's the expert, I'm not, that can tell you everything that's going to what bucket and et cetera. So you can see exactly, we don't know what else to do. If we had an answer and say, let's back that down to half of that, we would do that. But there's no other option for us at this point, because we're going to have problems making our payroll. And I just want to make one more comment, about, I want to make a point about the Gun Barrel City Animal Control Officer, Carol. I just want to say she has done an excellent job of trying to find homes for some of the strays. So I talked with her today. I had a chance to meet her. I've heard a lot of good things about some of the things she's doing. So that's a good step in the partnership direction. So I just wanted to make that known, that that's a good thing, is that it's not all about just dumping them. And so hats off to Carol.
Well, thank you for that. I'd like to just tell you that we're not unsympathetic to your plight. We have the same issues. The difference is we can't reach out to our citizens and say, y'all have got to spend more money so we can get more sales tax, because we don't have a property tax. We can't raise a tax to raise more money. So we're in the same situation. And I would invite y'all to look at our budget. In fact, I will invite you to come to see our budget workshop so you can see us when we work through the budget, what money we have and where we're shortfall, and how we have just now been able to get our employees up to a livable wage. So, you know, it's, I appreciate the opportunity to drive over to your CPA and look at your budget, but
We'd even be willing to come here.
I'd be great.
And bring the
That would be
CPA
great.
here.
We can call a meeting, let us know when, and just get in touch with the city secretary. We'll call a workshop and be happy to sit down and look at it. But, you know, I think we're both fighting the same battle, which is rising cost. The difference being that we can't up our price to anybody. We have to figure out how to pay the rising cost with what money that we have, because we have no means of going out and grabbing more money since we don't have a property tax. If we had a property tax, it'd be easy. We could just raise the property tax.
We feel you on that.
But we don't have that. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at, and that's kind of where the issue comes. The motion on the table is to table the item. So,
I second it.
Second.
okay, motion's been made and second. Vote from my left.
No.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion carries. We'll have this back before us no later than our August meeting, and hopefully we'll have it before then, because I'm sure we'll have another meeting between now and then. And that gives the city manager some time and us some time to digest some numbers and see what we can come up with. I appreciate y'all coming out and talking with us tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 3A, discuss and/or take action to interview candidates for the EDC Board of Directors and consider making an appointment. We'll have both candidates come. We have two candidates with one opening. We'll have both candidates come up and introduce themselves and leave it open for council to ask questions, and then I will ask for a nomination once all the questions have been answered, or asked and answered. Mr. Jay Burnson.
Hello, my name's Jay Burson. I guess you want me to try to tell you about my experience. Is that what you want?
Sure, yes, sir. Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm retired. Moved here about 3 years ago from New Mexico. Sold a business. I had a big nursery out in New Mexico. I've had 4 or 5 businesses. I'm pretty good with working with people. I know I worked with the SBA out in New Mexico, helping them foster some businesses back when I had my nursery in New Mexico. Other than that, I just would like to help the community and try to advance the growth of Gumball. Any questions?
Thank you. Questions, council? Okay. Ms. Kate Weller? Thank you, Ms. Preston.
I'm Kate Weller. I live at 129 Camino Robles. I think a lot of you know me. I have served on the Charter Review Committee. I served on the Comprehensive Plan Action Committee. I am currently on Planning and Zoning, and I believe that Gun Barrel City is at a critical crossroads. When you ask people what their vision is for Gun Barrel City, the answer is inevitably, we want to grow controlled and keep the small town feel. We're going to have to work very hard to do that. The city is coming. Dallas has gone north, it's gone west, it's gone northwest, it's gone southeast, it's gone northeast, typically along arteries, 45, 75, 35, 30, 20. When it comes this direction, it's going to go to 175. That's through Seagoville, through Crandall, through Kemp, through Maybank, around the curve to Athens. And we're going to have to make sure that Gun Barrel stays in that discussion, or we're going to be like that little old town where the railroad was built, one town over, and we died. And I would really like, having worked on the comprehensive plan and know where the city thinks it's going until 2040, I would really like to be a part of the discussion in economic development. I am also a big proponent of compromise. We have a difference of opinion. We come to the table to talk. Everybody gives a little, everybody gets a little. We come to a conclusion, and everybody's a little disappointed, but we've reached an agreement we can all live with.
Thank you. Any questions, council?
Actually, I have a question for Mr. Burson.
Mr. Burson? Back up.
I'm sorry I didn't catch you before you sat down. What brought you to Gun Barrel City from New Mexico?
Well, be honest with you, we went all the way out of the country. We looked around. We came to Gun Barrel. I had a friend that lived down here and said, you got to come check out Gun Barrel. We came down here, and I thought this was a place. I just like the people. I like the lake, and it's kind of the small town vibe that I come from. The town I came from was 50,000. I came from Roswell, New Mexico. So
Burritos.
I come from the banking and ranching business, so I kind of like being in this environment. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a few questions for Kate.
Go ahead.
Kate, you mentioned you were on planning and zoning, and you failed to mention Board of Adjustments.
No, I'm no longer on Board of Adjustment. I resigned because I believe that when someone comes to the Board of Adjustment, they're asking for a variance after both Planning and Zoning and City Council have essentially said no. And I believe that Board of Adjustment need to have fresh new eyes looking at a problem. So as soon as they could fill my position on Board of Adjustment, I resigned.
Well, currently there's no quorum there now with your resignation. Is that true?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was my
Mr. Secretary,
understanding that someone took my place and created a quorum.
But
Janet, do we have a quorum for BOA? Yeah, both boards are full. Thank you.
Are you always full? Okay. You withdrew from the EDC board member request a couple months ago.
I
What
did
changed your
indeed.
mind?
Pardon?
What changed your mind to come back?
Well, that withdrawal was for a personal reason. My husband's health was at a state where I felt like I couldn't devote the quantity or quality of time that it would take to serve on EDC. Luckily, he's better now, and so I have to devote less time, and I reinstated my application.
What impact does social media, in your opinion, have on city sales tax growth?
Social media? I don't know. I think we need to stay positive. We need to quit bad-mouthing, I guess, businesses in the community. If you don't like a certain restaurant, okay, but it can get pretty vicious. And I think we need to stay positive about our city on social media as much as we can.
There's actually some ongoing studies on this now that are pretty interesting. A recent AP survey showed that 70% of the U.S. adults rely on social media for governmental information at least once a week, but only 11% actually believe it. So this is, I think, what we're facing in terms of social media is we have an opportunity here for social media to be negative, as you say, or it could be very positive for growth. And I think I agree that positive is certainly the way to go.
And might I ask Mr. Foster why that question to me, other than to make the statement you did?
Well, you've been very active on a number of social media platforms in the city. You're well known. And I just wanted to, that's a very relevant question since you're coming to the EDC board.
Any other questions? I'll take nominations.
I'd like to nominate Kate Weller to fill the vacant position on the EDC Board of Directors.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Vote from my left.
No?
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, no?
Gaines, yes. Welcome to the board, Mrs. Weller. Okay, item 4A, public hearing on a request to replat lots 29, 30, and 31 in the Tamarack Venture subdivision belonging to David Westerfield, physically located at 454 South Gumball Lane, Gumball City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 29R and Lot 31R. Public hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is now closed. Item 4B, discuss and/or take action to approve the replatting of lots 29, 30, and 31 in the Tamarack Venture subdivision belonging to David Westerfield, physically located at 454 South Gumball Lane, Gumball City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 29R and 31R. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss or take action to approve the replatting of lots 29, 30, 31 in the Tamarack Venture subdivision belonging to David Westerfield, physically located at 454 South Gumball Lane, Gumball City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 29R and 31R.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes?
Item 5A. Council, we're fixing to get into the unsafe structures, which there's 10 or 12 of them, I guess. So I will go through this. All right. Public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 119 Cali Lane, Gumball City, Texas. Anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is now closed. Item 5B, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 119 Cali Lane, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 119 Cali Lane, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Mr. Bain, was this the item you wanted to speak on? No. Okay, I had 5A and B. I'm sorry? East Acres? Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss you. If you want to speak, when I open up the public hearing, if you want to speak on one of these homes? Okay. Okay. At any rate, when we get to it, y'all let me know that that's when you want to speak. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is on Cali Lane. There's nobody here to speak on that one, so. Vote from my left?
Yeah, Evan, Jess.
Yes.
Since I wasn't invited to the meeting, I believe I should let Mr. Anderson speak for myself.
I'll deal with that when but you're not here to speak on the Cali Lane structure, so. Okay, let me get through that one, we'll get there. Thank you. I have a yes from Ms. Evans.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Thank you. Discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 119 Cali Lane, making findings of fact and ordering a demolition of structures located at 119 Cali Lane, Gumball City, Texas. Order 119 Cali Lane, an order making the findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation, and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated and ordering the demolition thereof. I have a motion to adopt Order 119.
I'll make a motion to adopt Order 119.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evan, Jess.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Thank you. Item 5D, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 121 Bayview Street, Gumball City, Texas. Is anyone here to talk about the structure on Bayview Street? Public hearing is now closed. Discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 121 Bayview Street, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 121 Bayview Street, Gumball City, Texas, is considered unsafe.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote for my left, please.
Evan, Jess.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5F, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 121 Bayview Street, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 121 Bayview Street, Gumball City, Texas. Order 121 Bayview Street, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated and ordering the demolition thereof. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to take action to adopt Order 121 Baywood Street, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 121 Baywood Street, Gumball City, Texas.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evan, Jess.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5G, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 126 Westview Drive, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing's open. Yes, sir. Mr. Robbins?
I'm Gary Robbins, and this is my wife, Nancy. We drove 4 hours to get here today because y'all had this beautiful meeting at 6:30 in the afternoon. So we live in Beaumont. That's where we reside with most of our properties. This one piece of property, we bought it for a friend of ours, elderly lady, and she passed away last November. That was going to be what we was going to let her stay in till she died, okay? She got cancer and died in November, so then that's it. I'm a general contractor. I've been doing carpet work for over 50 years. I've been doing general construction over 30. This just happens to be a little project I guess I'm gonna have to pursue and go ahead and get it done. We were told by Mr. Ward, I think it was, Michael Ward, that if we secured the property because somebody had taken and kicked the door in, secured the property and the windows, nobody couldn't get in it, this was about 6 months ago, that everything would be okay for right now. Well, I guess right now is already passed, because now we got a letter in the mail from y'all that y'all will want to demo the property. Well, to be realistic with you, It's only a 24 by 24 building that's been there probably about 25, 30 years. I don't know exactly when it was there. It was probably one of the first ones on that street, but there's nothing that cannot be repaired. If somebody wants to repair it, just put the money into it. Nothing. If a man build it, I can rebuild it. But I'm just saying that we were told also that there were letters sent to us that we never responded to. And I'm gonna say bullcorn. Every letter that's been responded to us by the city council of Gumball City,
Not city council.
whoever, this department,
Yes.
we have responded to it. We have done everything that we needed to do to get back in compliance. Our home burnt down through arson June 21, July 21, something like that. So we don't have a homestead no more. So we're thinking about go ahead and making a homestead up here and go ahead and fix a little house up and add to it to make a little mini house or whatever, you know. It doesn't matter to me. This is what she wants to do. Wherever she's happy, I'm happy, okay? So we're here talking to the city council. If y'all have letters that we've never responded to, I want you to show them to me. That's all I'm saying. Because we have responded every time anything's been given.
We talked to Mr. Michael Ward.
Yeah. The little building you're looking at is the one on the right-hand side, I guess, of the door. That's a 16 by 24. So whoever years ago added it on, it's dilapidated on that as far as that. I'm gonna take that whole side off anyhow. And it's just the debris for me, okay? I'm gonna take it all, seal it up, so you got a 24 by 24 main structure. I'm gonna plan to add a 6 by 12 on the front of it and a 6 by 12 on the back of it. Part of it's a porch, part of it's gonna be an extension of a bedroom. When I get through with it, it's gonna have 2 little bedrooms, a bathroom, living and kitchen area. And it'll be about 800 square foot roughly, but it's in the middle of 3 of our lots. We own all 3 of those lots. And it might be an eyesore to people that's building these $300,000 houses and selling them down there. I can understand that. But when I get it fixed up, it'll be cute and it'll fit into the neighborhood. And the only way I'm not gonna do it is if somebody wants to come and give me $75,000 for all 3 lots. No takers? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix it up and that's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
All I'm asking for is the time that you give to somebody to repair something.
The builders.
The builder.
All the builders
All
on
the
that
builders are
street.
building houses up and down those streets. I've been through them. There's probably 25 I went through just a while ago.
We get calls all daily for people wanting to buy the property. But I don't want to sell it. I like the lake. I want to move here. And I want y'all to give us the opportunity to show y'all what we can do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Mr. City Manager?
Well, I apologize that Mr. Ward is not here. He's came down with COVID yesterday, and he is convalescing at home. So I really can't answer the questions about the letters being responded to or not. I provided all the city council members with a demolition case history. That's all I have. You know, I relied on Mr. Ward because that's what he does. And again, unfortunately, he didn't expect to come down with COVID last night, or yesterday. So he's not here. So all I can go by, Mr. Mayor, is just what's written here, that there's 3 prior records dating back to 2020, 1 for weed control, 2 for unsafe buildings. He said that he's had contact with the owners. They've been responsive to maintaining the yard. They have told him on several occasions they plan on remodeling the building. However, nothing has been done and the property remains in disrepair.
When do you plan on?
We weren't told that there was a deadline to do it. We came here and talked to him in his office, and he said, what you need to do is secure it so no one can go in, and that'll be fine. We both came down with the flu after that. In fact, he lost 25 pounds, and we were both very sick. Then the first part of this year, we both got the flu again. But we're here now asking y'all to give us a chance to save our house.
What is your timing on doing something?
He didn't give, what is our timing?
Ma'am.
Whatever y'all allow the there's people building all down the road across from it. Whatever y'all allow them, 6 months, I don't know what they do.
When would you start?
It would have to be after August the 15th. We would come and demo the bad part. And I have a picture of what our vision is, but it's on my phone. I don't know if y'all want to see it.
Council have any other questions or comments?
We have 40 other properties in Beaumont and Lumberton and Brooklyn. And
What
we've
subdivision
all
is
done
this
our houses.
property in?
Huh?
What subdivision is this property in?
Loon Bay,
It's Westview, it's over, and we've been in that Loon Bay 4 or 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was, you know. Turned by the liquor store between that and the Mexican food place. I guess you get drunk, go over and eat, and then you go home.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only way I know how to get in there.
Mayor, could we amend this to give them said an additional?
This is just a public hearing at this point.
I can't hear.
So,
said it
but
was a
yes,
public hearing.
that's all we have right now, Mr. Foster. We don't have a motion on the table right now. We're just doing public hearing. Does anybody else have any comments, questions? Thank you very much. Anybody else wish to speak on this item? Public hearing's closed. Item 5H, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 126 Westview Drive, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. Have a motion, please?
Move to discuss and take action to determine whether the structure located at 126 Westview Drive, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
Were you going to give him time or just?
That's what I'm asking.
I think I think they seem sincere. And if you have a timetable that you're willing to commit to, then I think we definitely should take that into consideration.
I appreciate that.
Would 6 months be adequate?
6 months would be good.
And would you mind just showing us the picture on your cell phone? I mean, just, you could just-
Well, we have building permits, of course, that you'll have to subscribe to, and there
I
are,
can't hear you.
He's hard of
I'm
hearing.
hard of hearing like those
okay.
old people are. I can't hear you.
we have building requirements and building permits that you'll have to subscribe
I've already
to.
contacted our
ain't no
insurance to
problem.
get bonded,
Perfect.
and I told them I'd have to wait till after the meeting, and they will bond him. He's bonded in our other cities, and
We
they
got
don't.
general liability insurance I carry on me and everything. So, I mean, I got equipment, you know, I'm just saying.
My phone I cut off, so it wouldn't
Oh,
ring.
my God.
Mr. Foster, do you want to amend your motion to,
I'd just like to amend it to give them an additional 6 months,
okay.
come back to us, and that's what I'd like to do.
All right. Mr. City Manager, are you good with us reviewing this in
It is.
6 months?
I'm gonna show them roughly.
I got it. I got it.
I think we might need to define what we expect from them, though, just leaving it in its current condition for 6 months, maybe pulling permits, seeing some, all we require really is just some improvement being done. And so I think that maybe that would be required to show good faith on their part that something's been done.
Mr. Manager, if I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna not do it. I just spent $30,000 on a little house not bigger than this to get it all back up to code on the water, electrical, plumbing, and everything.
Excuse me, what he was saying was that we needed to establish where you would be in 6 months. Will you have the house completed in 6 months, or?
I'm gonna try my best to have it completed where I could, stay in it,
Okay,
okay? I'm gonna try my best, foreseeing that no health reason or the weather is gonna stop me from doing what I gotta do.
understood.
praying for rain. We're praying for rain.
Well,
Like-
right
like
now,
a-
that grass over there dead. There's one guy on the corner, I think is.
And I think what the city manager is trying to tell you is that if 6 months you're into it and you're almost done with it, but not quite finished, we're not going to tear it down. We're going to just look for progress.
I've
is
been
what-
that route.
We're just looking for progress is all we're looking for. We're not fighting with you, okay?
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
You tear structures down and you no longer have a tax roll. All you got's a piece of dirt.
Right.
That's what we got.
All right.
I appreciate it.
So the
Thank
motion
you.
is to allow them 6 months to see progress. Is that right, Mr. Foster?
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate? Okay. And I have a second. Vote from my left, please.
I second.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes. Thank you.
Okay. See y'all. All right. Thank y'all very much for making the drive up. All right, let's see.
So we've done that.
Okay, so I won't need to do 5I.
No.
To discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 126 Westview Drive, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 126 Westview Drive, Gumball City, Texas. I'll take a motion to not adopt Order 126.
So moved.
Second.
Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Thank you. All right, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 142 Bozart Way, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. 5K, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 142 Bozart Way, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion, please?
Discuss or take action to determine whether the structure located at 142 Bozart Way, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Oh. Hearing no discussion, vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5L, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 142 Bozart Way, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 142 Bozart Way, Gumball City, Texas. Order 142 Bozart Way, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the building and structures be abated and ordering the demolition thereof. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 142 Bozart Way, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 142 Bozart Way, Gumball City, Texas.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5M, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 169 Willowwood Drive, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is open. Does anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is now closed. Item 5N, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 169 Willow Drive, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 169 Willowwood Drive, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5O, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 169 Willowwood Drive, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 169 Willowwood Drive, Gumball City, Texas. Order 169 Willowwood Drive, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated, and ordering the demolition thereof. Motion, please.
Make a motion to discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 169 Willowwood Drive, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 169 Willowwood Drive, Gumball City, Texas.
Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Thank you. 5P, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 209 Woodwind, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is open. Does anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is closed. Item 5Q, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 209 Woodwind, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 209 Wynwood, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
A motion second. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 5R, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 209 Woodwind, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 209 Woodwind, Gumball City, Texas. Order 209 Woodwind, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated, and ordering the demolition thereof. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 209 Winwood, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 209 Winwood, Gun Barrel City, Texas.
Second.
A motion second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 5S, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 214 Trailwind Street, Gumball City. Public hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is now closed. Item 5T, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 214 Trailwind Street, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion to discuss or take action to determine whether the structure located at 214 Trailwind Street, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 5U, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 214 Trailwind Street, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 214 Trailwind Street, Gumball City, Texas. Order 214 Trailwind Street, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated, and ordering the demolition thereof. We have a motion to adopt Order 214 Trailwind Street.
I'll make a motion to discuss or take action to adopt Order 214 Trailwind Street, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 214 Trailwind Street, Gumball City, Texas.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 5E, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 215 Butterfly Lane, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is open. Anyone wish to speak? Public hearing is now closed. 5W, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 215 Butterfly Lane, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 215 Butterfly Lane, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion?
No.
Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 5X, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 215 Butterfly Lane, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 215 Butterfly Lane, Gumball City, Texas. Order 215 Butterfly Lane, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated, and ordering the demolition thereof. I have a motion.
Make a motion to discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 215 Butterfly Lane, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located at 215 Butterfly Lane, Gumball City, Texas.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
5Y, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure located at 219 Spring Valley Street, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is closed. Item 5Z, discuss and take action to determine whether the structure located at 219 Spring Valley Street, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe. A motion?
Make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located at 219 Spring Valley Street, Gumball City, Texas is considered unsafe.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Item 5AA, discuss and/or take action to adopt Order 219 Spring Valley Street, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition. Wait a minute. ordering the demolition of structures located at 219 Spring Valley Street, Gumball City, Texas. Have a motion? I need to read the order. 219 Spring Valley Street, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures be abated and ordering the demolition thereof. Now may I have a motion?
I make a motion to discuss and or take action to adopt Order 219 Spring Valley Street, making findings of fact and ordering demolition of structures located at 219 Spring Valley Street, Gumball City, Texas.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
Rue, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Thank you. Item 5AB, public hearing to discuss unsafe structure described as Lot 43, AB 483B. Medrose serves Lakeside Acres, Gumball City, Texas. Public hearing is now open. Mr. Bain?
I'm gonna let Mr. Anderson speak first. I wasn't formally invited to the council. I'm here, yes.
Either one of you get to speak. Go right ahead, sir.
Hello, council. How are y'all?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. I do agree. This home needs to be leveled. The reason I'm here and Mr. Bain's here is the lot that it's sitting on is actually my lot. It's lot 43. Many years ago, I bought lot 42, 43. My father bought 44, 45 and a half. He sold it to Mr. Bain Sr. And when Mr. Bain Sr. placed the trailer, it was actually placed on my property. I made a couple of attempts to talk to Mr. Bain back in early 2000s, offered up. I said, look, you're on my property, $1,000, buy my lot, and it's yours, and I'll walk away. Mr. Bain was in not good health, so I just let it go. I don't really know what Mr. Bain's going to say about this. When I got notice from Michael Ward, I called him a couple of times. In fact, I came down last Wednesday and spoke with Michael. I hope I don't get COVID. But, you know, he understands. So in the year's time, the only thing that has been done to this trailer was the skirting on the outside, or the panels, has been taken down, and there was one building on the right-hand side that was demolished by Gerald Jr. So I want it gone. I want to make it go away. I have no idea what he's got to say, but this is going to be interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Mr. Bain?
Council, how you doing? I'm Gerald Bain. The deal is his dad sold the property to my dad. I was there 20-some-odd years ago, helped him put the trailer on the property. We cut trees for months before we could even get it in there. The deal is he hired the surveying company. He was there. His dad was there, told us where to put it, and that's where we're at. We put it where it was. I did all the work, hooked all the electrical, all the plumbing, everything to this place. And his dad even got a hold of my dad and let my dad know a couple of years after it was done. I never talked to his dad at that time. I do know for a fact that he told my dad, I was there listening on the phone, that it was that he messed up the survey. The surveying company was a friend, supposedly. They messed up on a survey. All through life, I've always known when survey companies mess up, there's insurance for that. They move the trailer. That's not what's being said. I mean, I do understand if this has been on his property and it's been a sore for both of us, all of us. I've talked to Michael. Mike Ward's not here. I've talked to him several times as well. This has been a problem. Y'all have sent him letters, but I have been the only one for the last 5 years. My dad passed away. I have mowed and took care of this place. I have started demo. I have tried. I was out of compliance with y'all several times, a couple times. I did go in there, mow. The guy before Mr. Ward, he was young. I think his name was Justin. He's with y'all's code enforcement as well, which Michael Ward has been out a couple times. and said, everything's good, you got it all mowed, you're in compliance. We've went on. I have tried. It's not that I haven't tried to take it down, but I'm also saying, I've never seen a survey in question to where does this property start? He's had, the house I put back there in 2021 or not 2021, back in 2000 or 2001 or 2002, when I moved that trailer on that property for my dad. His dad was standing there, told us where the stakes was, we put it there. That's one of the problems. The other problem is, I've never seen him or nobody, since you buy property, he should have had a new survey done. There should be survey stakes showing to where, I don't even know for sure that this trailer is on his property. You should not even, maybe be even after him for the house, maybe even me. I don't know. I'm not a surveyor, but you get where I'm at?
I do. I think where we're at is the building is,
I know it's out of code.
it's dangerous.
I know it's very
unsafe,
dangerous.
And I don't
I've
think,
been over there, I had a trailer.
I don't think council cares whose land it is on. It is.
Well, I know
it's an
that.
unsafe
But I
structure.
never-
So y'all's
I never
feud,
got a-
excuse me, y'all's feud about the property and
Right.
who's it on, that's none of our business. That's
Right.
y'all's problem. But our problem is whether this structure is considered safe or unsafe. And
It's
just
unsafe, no
looking
doubt.
at the pictures of it right now, I've got to tell you, sir, in my view,
Oh, it's way unsafe. I agree, and
that's the only thing we're concerned with.
Right.
Whose property it's on, if y'all got a dispute there, I would like for y'all to settle that, but that's not for us
Right.
to settle. Make sense?
Yeah, but the problem is with me, he's called and he's kind of harassed me and my sister both, saying that it was on the property and that we should pay y'all, the city, to have it removed. My problem is with that is his dad should have done it, he should have done it, somebody from the survey, and they got insurance. I know
If
you're
y'all
not-
have that
this
issue,
is
y'all
not
need to
the
take that
issue
to
you
court.
got.
This is
Well,
not.
then what I need is I'm asking, like I said, I don't know if it's on his property or not. If he's wanting to sell his part of the property, and that's where we're at. I know he wants to sell the property. He can't sell, I don't even know if it's 25% on his property. I heard 30 foot of it was the other. That is kind of a deal. I didn't get, a letter from compliance this time, and he did. And that's one of the reasons why I just showed up. He did send me, he was nice enough to send me this letter, and I seen it, and I thought, well, maybe I need to go represent. I would like to have some more time to take it down. I have been trying. He hasn't helped none at all as far as any of the physical work, and it don't look like he's in that physical where he could, but.
Okay. Counsel, any questions?
But both you gentlemen would agree that this facility is uninhabitable,
Oh, I know that, there's no doubt.
okay?
I've had a trailer stolen off their property. I brought a big trailer for tools and stuff and to haul stuff away. It got stolen, lights. I've talked to Mr. Ward, which of course he's not here, several times.
Okay.
And,
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Anybody else wish to speak?
I got one more
Yes.
question. Michael Anderson's telling me that he had come up with a plan and y'all were going to demolish it within 30, 40 days or so. I just want to know, when do I have time to go in there and try to get it out of there? The problem is with the weather, some of it could be burned. You can't burn nothing right now.
No, can't burn it.
What,
I don't have a schedule.
will
We
y'all
don't-
be able to give me a schedule, some kind
we
of
don't
plan
have
of
a s-
action?
My knowledge, Mr. City Manager, do we have a schedule yet of,
We do not have a schedule, and we would love you to tear it down.
yeah.
We would love you
I
to
just don't
beat
want
us
to pay
to it.
for it, and I don't know that I should have to pay for it, but I'm the only one that's took care of that whole place. Even if that's his property, I took care of it.
How long do you think it'll take you to tear it down?
I'm thinking, man, I need till the winter, man. Need to cooler weather, man, where I can burn some of it, and I do have a dumpster that I can bring out there. I'm looking, 5, 6 months, somewhere around, if we ever get any rain. Y'all had the rain dance the other day. Is there any chance y'all could throw some rain this
We
way?
don't know if it's
I'll
going to be
dance
successful or
with you.
not, but we try.
Mr. Mayor, we're not asking him to pay for it anyway, are we? The city's paying for these.
Well, I don't think it's right for the city to pay for it.
City pays for it, and then the city assesses a lien for the cost of demolition on the property.
Right, but that's what he was telling me. That's why I was wondering how soon this was gonna happen. For y'all, the city, to take notes and go ahead and have y'all's people demo it. That's where I'm at. How fast?
I do know that some of these properties are in our budget to do this year, and some of them are to do our next fiscal year, which starts in October. So,
Right.
so I mean, but as far as when, that's not really for us to say. We bid this out, and the contractors that get the bid, they'll do it within a certain time frame after they get the bids.
Right.
So there's no way I can answer that question to you right now, when we would actually
Okay, well, y'all,
get to it, so.
somebody get back with me, or? I mean, can this be something y'all give a note, or I maybe?
We could possibly try to attempt to get in touch with you once the bid goes out and we know who's going to do it, but more than likely, once the bid goes out and comes back, they get the bid, they're probably gonna be out there in the day or two, so I don't know if it's
Right.
gonna do you a lot of good.
Right.
So, so again, it's up to council, what y'all wanna do.
Public hearing, right?
Yeah, we're still got the public hearing right now. Does anybody had any more questions or comments? Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Public hearing is closed. Item 5AC, discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located and described as Lot 43, AB 483B, Metro Sur Lakeside Acres, Gumball City, Texas, is considered unsafe. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or take action to determine whether the structure located and described as Lot 43, AB 483B, Metro Sur Lakeside Acres, Gumball City, Texas, is considered unsafe.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Not hearing any discussion. Vote for my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Motion carries. Item 5AD, discuss and/or take action to adopt order Lot 43 Lakeside Acres, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located and described as Lot 43 AB 483B, Metro Sur Lakeside Acres, Gumball City, Texas. Order Lot 43 Lakeside Acres, an order making findings of fact, finding certain buildings and structures within the city limits to be dilapidated, substandard, and unfit for human habitation and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, ordering the buildings and structures to be abated and ordering the demolition thereof. May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to discuss and/or take action to adopt order Lot 43 Lakeside Acres, making findings of fact and ordering the demolition of structures located and described as Lot 43, AB 483B, Metro Sur Lakeside Acres, Gumball City, Texas.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Item 6A, convene into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Sections 551.074, personnel matters to discuss the city manager's annual evaluation, and Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to discuss real estate performance agreement, and Chapter 380 agreement for affordable senior housing between Gumball City and Silver Leaf of Gumball City. We'll now go into executive session. The time is 8:02. We will reconvene into open session to take any action necessary as a result of the executive session. The time is 8:46. May I have a motion, please?
I'd like make a motion to approve the evaluation of the city manager and to provide an increase to match the other department heads at 5%.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Vote for my left, please.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Motion carries. Another motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the city manager and the city attorney to contact Mr. Segru regarding the Silverleaf Project Performance Agreement.
Have a second?
Second. Second.
Motion and a second. Vote for my left, please.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
Out of here.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all staying all night with us.
Yeah, we got 3 staff members